Hi fam, my name is Vuvu. If you are new on here, please consider pressing that red subscribe button down below and joining the family. If you're an oldie, a member of the fam bam, welcome back fam, and thank you for joining me once again. On today's video, I'm introducing a new segment on this channel called Thrive with Vuvu. Oh yes, Thrive with Vuvu Vena. It's something that I stumbled across last year when I was thinking about how I want to reshape my life and just work on certain categories in my life to make sure that that reshaping is something that yields some results. Water. Oh, it's something that yields some results because I did recognize that I'm coming to the end of a certain era in my life and I want to pave the way for the new season in my life in such a way that I will be pleased with the results when I have to look back a year, 2 years later, and I have to put in the work to make sure that the results that I do achieve or that I do want to achieve come to fruition. And so Thrive came about, and it was not some genius idea. Okay, everybody's always tagging a certain word to every year that comes. So 2025 was already being known as 2020 Thrive, and I thought that it was such a fitting word and mantra for my life in this new season past 2025. Thriving is what I want to be able to achieve in all areas of my life, and that's how the thought process behind the Thrive with Vuvu Vena series or segment that you're going to see on here. It also exists on TikTok as Vuvu Vena _thrives. Basically, that's the backstory. So we have various categories in this segment, and today's category is just about wellness. Wellness meaning physical wellness, meaning weight loss, because you guys have seen some of my videos around Diary of a Big Girl Gone Slim, and this is just in keeping with that philosophy. However, the wellness will later on include other parts of being holistically well in my life and how I achieve that. Anyway, if you are keen on this, please do stay tuned. I started a wellness journey, a new wellness journey at the start of the year. I came back from the holidays around the 6th of January. I wanted to settle in. I was tired for days because anybody who does the driving to and from the Eastern Cape over the holiday season knows exactly how exhausting it can be. So I was exhausted, and I also had to get back into back to school gear for my kids' sake. So it took me a while to really get my personal life in order. But on the 12th of January, I decided that this is a journey I wanted to take, and this is how I started it. This includes my my weigh-in. So if you're curious about the other days that I spent on this journey, you can definitely head over to my TikTok account, the Vuvu Vena _thrives, where I try to post as often as I can about the journey that I'm on. However, just take a look at this tidbit of action on the first day.
Hi Chomi, my name is Vuvu. I am starting off a very interesting journey this year, and it does include a lot of aspects of just general wellness. Yes, I'm starting off with carnivore. Today is my day one, and I am being vulnerable on here and sharing with you guys exactly what it is that I'll be doing. I plan to do carnivore for about 90 days, and then restructuring or figuring it out or continuing after the 90-day mark. So today is Sunday, the 12th of January, and that was my day one, and this is what I weighed in when I weighed this morning. So those of you who may know me from my YouTube channel is Vuvu Vena. You might know that I have been going on a weight loss journey since God knows when. We will talk about it on here. Don't worry. But you know that I have been trying to shed a bit of weight. I've been motivated and demotivated enough times for me to count. However, this is a fresh new year and there's a new seed that has been planted in my heart, and hence my Thrive series over on YouTube, which is now morphing into the specific corner of the internet in terms of TikTok, which is Vuvu Vena Thrives. So Thrive with Vuvu Vena is basically a space where I plan to share wellness on all aspects of my life, including personal growth, including spiritual growth, as well as financial growth, or lessons in all of those aspects, and me trying to get out of a little bit of stuck that I've been finding myself in the past few years. So if you are somebody who's keen on that kind of a journey, please do stick around. On this morning I tried to make coffee with cream. Little did I know that the cream that I had bought yesterday from Woolies was actually a double cream and not a pouring cream. It did the job, don't get me wrong, but then I need pouring cream. For breakfast on my first day, I decided to make mince. I made the mince the day before because I did kind of trial out carnivore for one day yesterday. However, it was nothing strict, like I was still having things that I shouldn't be having. So today was just pure carnivore. So yesterday I did try it out and I made mince with just butter, salt, and pepper. So obviously it got left over, and that's what I ended up using with this breakfast meal. And as you can see, these are the only seasonings that I'll be using for breakfast, and that is salt, ground pepper, and peppercorns. I almost didn't know what that was. So I won't lie to you, I absolutely enjoyed my breakfast and it did satiate me. In case you are wondering, I will not be doing intermittent fasting with my journey. Previously, just before the year ended, I was doing keto, and I was doing keto plus intermittent fasting. And over the years, whenever I've tried intermittent fasting, I've realized that it doesn't quite gel with me, in the sense that I suppose it's my hormonal then ending up affecting my mental health. So my anxiety is just not set up that way. So I decided that I'm going to try carnivore. It does not require you to be on any form of intermittent fasting. However, some people do intermittent fast during this journey. I don't know if they see results quicker than other people, but for me specifically, I do want to use this diet for what it's meant to be. And part of what it's meant to be is that it's an elimination diet. So you start off having only animal-based foods. And after a while, some people say it's supposed to be 90 days, you start introducing other foods. Obviously, you're going to try and introduce healthy foods to see which foods you react to, or which foods don't agree with you. Don't mind me and my speech. So by eliminating all other foods, processed foods, grains, starch, everything for 90 days, you're resetting your body in essence, right? And then when you start adding in these extra things, you then start to hear or understand. I was about to say hear from your system, but also like get a greater understanding of what it is that you should be having or what it is that you shouldn't be having. And what I like about that is that then it becomes very personal to you. Right? So you've taken the journey, you've come to understand your body, you've kind of reset it, and now you're telling yourself that from this reset, I'm going to start treating you better, because I understand your alarm bells, if that makes sense. Anyway, as you can see, I'm still having dairy on this journey. Some people don't have dairy on their carnivore journey. I do have dairy, but obviously in very limited amounts. So the only thing that's really on my menu, in inverted commas, that is dairy, is going to be cream, cheese. So it's going to be cream and cheese. I don't know anything else actually that I'll be having that is not cheese or cream on this journey that is dairy related. So I'm not having any form of milk and yogurt, etc. So this was breakfast. I hope you will enjoy this journey with me. Please do follow if you are interested.
So as you can see, I started off my actual weight loss journey with you guys last year around the end of February, where I had been shocked the year before about my weight gain, where I had been clocking about 130. Let me look, I've got the statistics, child. Okay, so let me do the right thing, give you the right information. So at the beginning of February last year, I was weighing a whooping 136.2 kgs, and then I decided, okay, let me try do something about this. Okay, but the thing is, I felt like the things that I tried in the past were really not working for me, but I couldn't just sit and let this weight continue. So I did go on to some kind of eating plan, which was mainly intermittent fasting, and that worked out fairly well, because at the end of that month I had lost only 2.2 kgs. So I was sitting at 134 kgs around this time last year. So then towards the end of the year, I decided, let me try keto, because I was still finicky about the intermittent fasting, but I thought, let me do it. Let me just try and do it one more time. And I got that amazing book that I got from NB Publishers about the South African keto diet by those two wonderful ladies. I'll put it up here because it's not next to me right now. And that book really changed my life. I don't want to lie to you guys, because it just opened my eyes up to what the ketogenic diet is, what it is that you're trying to achieve, why it is important that you try and achieve this, etc. However, I did lose weight, I did lose weight on that diet, but then it was very close to holiday time, so I knew things were not going to be all hunky-dory by the time that we got to the holiday season, child. But before the holidays, I got just drawn into a rabbit hole on TikTok around the carnivore diet. Mainly the people that I'd seen on TikTok doing this diet were based in the US, and I just did a little bit of research, and the book that I showed you guys also has an option for a carnivore meal plan, because the carnivore diet is part of the ketogenic diet, but it's an extreme part of the diet. Now, the design of this diet is basically for you to eliminate. It's an elimination diet, so you eliminate everything else except for animal-based protein and animal-based foods. So you can't have fruit, you can't have vegetables, you can't have olive oil, you can't have all of those things. The design usually is so that you can do it for 90 days in order for you to then reintroduce the foods that you eliminated, to see how your body reacts to those foods. So when I started the diet, I was weighing at I started it on the 12th of January, and I was weighing at 128.5 kgs, as you saw with the video that I introduced to you guys. Within a week, I'd lost about 3.3 kgs, and then life happened. And you know my story, I'm always saying that the more honest I am, the more realistic I am with you guys on this journey. I suppose for me, my thinking is that the more it helps the next person, right? Because most of the time, let me not say all of the time, most of the time when you see stories about weight loss and how people have made it, basically in terms of achieving their weight loss goals, you always see them after. The before is not really the journey that they take you on, but they do take you on their fitness and health journey after the fact. So for me, I just wanted it to be laid out very clear. I'm a Black woman in my late 30s, single mother who has over the years become a little bit dependent on ALC to regulate my nervous system. And obviously I think when I do sit down and think about it, this is what has added to my weight gain. And because of that dependence, I'm struggling to find healthier alternatives. So in as much as I can stick to this plan for a week, 2 weeks, and see great results, in the first week I lost, like I'm saying, 3.3 kgs, and it was wonderful. But then I started dipping into bad habits again. My bad habits definitely are the drank child as well as sugar, right? But I haven't had any actual sugar, but I've had cookies with my kids, I've had ice cream with my kids, etc. And at the point where I'm at now, which is past 40 days on this plan, I realized that my body really reacts very well to this when I'm doing the right thing. So I'm at a point where I'm trying to figure out the discipline of the thing. Okay, I know that I found something that really does work for me, and I don't know how long I'm going to do it for, and I am seeing results. I'm also enjoying the fact that the results that I'm seeing are not really only scale based, but they are non-scale victories that I'm seeing. I was just checking my centimeters today because I did do my centimeters on the last day of February last year, and at that point I was weighing 134 kgs. Right now I weigh 127 kgs, and basically the overall centimeter loss from that date to now is over 18 centimeters. I was shocked, okay, but I had started feeling a little bit of a difference in how my clothes are fitting, and I was like, something is happening, even though I'm being hard on myself, right? Something is happening, and I was grateful to see that actually something is happening. I've got the matrix for it. I'll just stick it up here for you guys as well. And basically throughout this journey, even on my TikTok, I keep telling my chomies, that's what I've decided to call the people over on the Thrive series, or chomi bam, that listen, this might not be the ideal place that people want to come to for motivation, because I'm not going to be the one to make it seem all rosy, because this is my journey. What I'm actually doing in essence is sharing my journey, and you can share in with me if you want. You can share some tips, you can give me advice, etc, etc. But what I will not accept on that platform is judgment on anybody, myself or anybody else who's trying to figure it out, because I think that the victory comes in the figuring it out, if you hear what I'm trying to say. That if you, and I've done this before, right, the whole I'm gonna stick to a specific diet, and I've done it, and then when I fall off, I feel all this guilt because everybody else who's doing it is acting like they're perfect on this journey, so there must be something wrong with me surely if this is the situation. So I'm just here trying to say nothing is wrong with you. We are battling so many things in life, and you can't always have your willpower, your motivation, and your grit basically in check to be able to push going to the gym, exercising, being present for your kids, being present for work, fighting anxiety, depression, doing all of these things as one human being. But I'm saying the more you practice it, the easier it gets and the more enjoyable it gets. And that brings me to why I'm saying I'm at this point right now in my journey where I feel like I'm ready to commit a little bit more, right? I might not be committing 100% like I would have, like I envision myself to commit, let's say probably by the end of this year, but I'm ready for the next step. And my next step is just trying to eat clean majority of my month, right? We're about to go into the month of March, and I bet you during that month I will be the cleanest eater that existed, as well as trying to exercise as often as I can. My target is still 3 times at the gym, but it might increase depending on how my days are looking. And I was also playing around at the idea of doing the 75 soft, because I really do think that the thing that I want to kind of like strengthen in my life right now within this lifestyle is discipline. So I might do that. I might not share it with you guys, but I might figure out how to personalize a 75 soft for myself so that I can commit truly in the way that I want to commit. Anyway, these are my thoughts, and this is how my journey has been. If you are curious as to what I've been eating, etc., these videos are up on my TikTok, the Vena_thrives TikTok. And yes, so I hope you enjoy this. I will try and update you at least at the end of every single month. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you truly enjoyed it. I truly love sharing this journey with you guys, like I'm saying, because I've struggled to find people who are talking about how difficult this journey is, and I hope that this gives you an idea that you are on the right track, you are trying your best. I think what's this thing, the secret is to not stop, right? Is to not stop trying, is to not stop pushing yourself, is to not stop chasing that dream. And at the end of it all, I hope you guys thrive and continue to thrive. Until next time, I truly do love you guys for choosing me. Bye for now.